Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Rohn, and I just finished reviewing the latest issue of The Achiever, our new magazine. I appreciate you taking a few moments to be here with me today. I want to share something truly valuable, what I call 5 simple steps to rise from average to fortune. It's a topic I've been invited to speak on at various corporations and events, and today I have the privilege of sharing it with you. Now, this is a big subject, especially for someone like me, because my journey began humbly in the farm country of Idaho. I grew up in a small town of about 4,000 or 5,000 people. I went through high school, attended college for a year and a half, and then made a bold decision. I dropped out, convinced I was smart enough to chase my ambitions directly. My parents provided me with a solid foundation, instilling values that would later serve me well. Being an only child, they dedicated extra time to my growth, and for that, I'm grateful. A couple of years after leaving school, I met a wonderful young woman, convinced her to marry me, and like many young dreamers, I made grand promises about the future. I assured her that life with me would be fulfilling and prosperous. However, just a few years into our marriage, reality set in. It wasn't looking like she had made the wisest decision. I was struggling financially, constantly running out of money before the end of the month. I was working hard, but despite my efforts, I was falling behind on bills and uncertain about my future. I found myself at a crossroads. Should I go back to school and get more education? Should I try to start a business, even though I had no capital? I had more questions than answers and a deep desire to turn my life around. Then at the age of 25, something incredible happened. A stroke of good fortune came my way, though sometimes it's hard to explain why or how such moments arrive in our lives. A friend once told me, things don't just happen, they happen just. Maybe that's true. My turning point was meeting a remarkable man named Earl Shoaff. Mr. Shoaff was an entrepreneur, a businessman, and most importantly, a mentor. He took an interest in me, gave me an opportunity, and brought me into his world. For the next 5 years, I worked under his guidance. Sadly, at the end of those 5 years, he passed away. But in that short time, he gave me something far more valuable than a job. He gave me a new way of thinking. His philosophy, his principles, and his wisdom completely transformed my life. I applied what he taught me, and everything started to change. Years later, as I sat in my home in Beverly Hills, I looked back at the notes I had taken during those 5 years and had a realization. If these ideas had changed my life, perhaps they could help others too. So I gathered my experiences, organized my thoughts, and 5 years ago, I gave my first seminar. Since then, I've dedicated more and more of my time to sharing these insights, helping others improve their lives personally, socially, and financially. Over the past several years, I've had the opportunity to travel the world delivering these lessons in many different languages and cultures. I've seen firsthand how these principles can create real, lasting change. And today I want to share them with you. Here are 5 simple steps to rise from average to fortune. You might want to take note of them. Step 1, get serious. There comes a time in life when you have to draw the line and say enough is enough. That was me at 25, sitting in my little apartment, broke and embarrassed. I had potential, I had energy, but I wasn't getting anywhere. And then I realized the truth. Success doesn't show up by accident. It starts with a decision, a real decision. Most people wish for success, but wishing isn't enough. You can wish for a better job, wish for more money, wish for a better life. But until you decide, really decide, nothing changes. And here's the key. A true decision is backed by action. If you're serious about changing your life, you'll start making different choices. Because success isn't something you pursue, it's something you become by changing your habits, your mindset, and your daily actions. I remember when I met Mr. Shoaff, the man who became my mentor. He asked me a question that shook me. Jim, how much money have you saved in the last 6 years? I hung my head and said, none. He said, well, who sold you on that plan? That hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been operating on a casual approach to success, and casualness leads to casualties. That day, I made a decision. I was going to change. I was going to take responsibility for my future. And that's when everything turned around. Think about it. If you're serious about getting in shape, you don't just think about going to the gym. You sign up, you set a routine, and you show up no matter what. If you're serious about building wealth, you don't just hope for more money. You start learning, you find mentors, and you take action. The same goes for every area of life. The moment you decide, really decide, you'll feel a shift. Your thinking changes. Your priorities shift. You stop wasting time. You stop making excuses. And you start focusing on what matters. You start reading the books, listening to the right people, and surrounding yourself with those who challenge you instead of those who hold you back. Some people say, I'll get serious when the timing is right. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. Waiting for the perfect time is just another excuse. The right time is when you decide to make it the right time. Because time is going to pass anyway. The question is, will you use it to build something meaningful, or will you keep waiting? A year from now, you could be in a completely different place. Financially, mentally, emotionally, if you get serious today. 5 years from now, you could be living the life you once only dreamed of. But it starts with one decision. So what will it be? Because success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's reserved for the serious. Step 2, get smart, grow, and develop yourself. If you want more, you have to become more. That's the simple truth. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. And how do you become more? You get smart. You commit to learning, growing, and developing yourself every single day. There was a time when I thought working hard was enough. I believed if I just put in more hours, did more work, things would change. But I learned something critical. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. And working smart starts with getting smart. When I was 25, struggling financially, I had no clue what I was doing wrong. I was working hard, but I wasn't getting ahead. Then I met a man who changed my life, my mentor. He told me something I'll never forget. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. That's when I realized that success wasn't about luck or just effort. It was about knowledge, about mindset, about who I was becoming. So I started reading. I started listening. I started learning from people who had the results I wanted. And I began to see the difference. The books I read shaped my thinking. The ideas I absorbed changed my habits. The people I surrounded myself with lifted me to a higher level. Think about it. What separates those who struggle from those who succeed? It's not just talent. It's not just luck. It's knowledge. It's wisdom. It's the ability to make better decisions because you've taken the time to learn. If you want financial success, you must learn about money, how to earn it, how to keep it, how to multiply it. If you want a great relationship, you must study communication, human behavior, what makes relationships work. If you want to become a leader, you must learn how to influence, inspire, and guide people. Most people stop learning after school. They think education ends when they get a diploma. But real education starts when you take responsibility for it. It's reading books, listening to audio programs, attending seminars, finding mentors, investing in yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself, who will? Someone once told me, but books cost money. And I said, yes, but ignorance costs a fortune. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is what you know. And the good news, you can change that starting today. Imagine where you could be 5 years from now if you committed to learning something new every day. Imagine the opportunities that would open up if you expanded your mind, improved your skills, and elevated your thinking. Don't wish for success, learn your way to success, because once you get smart, once you grow and develop yourself, success becomes inevitable. Step 3, get going. Take action without delay. You can have the best ideas in the world, the greatest plans, and all the knowledge at your fingertips. But if you don't take action, nothing happens. Too many people wait. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity. And while they wait, life moves on. The clock keeps ticking, and opportunities pass them by. I used to be one of those people. I had big dreams, big goals, and plenty of ambition. But for a long time, I was stuck in thinking mode instead of doing mode. I would say, someday I'll start my own business. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll become successful. But the problem with someday is that it never comes. There's always another excuse, another delay, another reason to wait. Then I learned a simple truth. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. No amount of thinking, planning, or dreaming will move you forward unless you do something. I'll never forget when I first got started in business. My mentor gave me all the tools I needed. He taught me what to do, how to do it, and why it worked. But none of that mattered until I took action. I was nervous, unsure of myself, and afraid of making mistakes, but I did it anyway, and that first step changed everything. See, action has power. The moment you take a step forward, things start happening. You gain momentum. You learn faster. You get feedback. You make adjustments. But none of that is possible if you stay on the sidelines, waiting for the right time. Some people say, but what if I fail? My answer is simple. What if you don't? What if you stay exactly where you are for the next 5 years? What if nothing changes because you were too afraid to start? The truth is, failure isn't the enemy. Inaction is the enemy. At least when you take action, you learn, grow, and improve. Think about a rocket launching into space. It burns most of its fuel just getting off the ground. But once it's in motion, it moves effortlessly. That's how action works. The first steps might feel difficult, but once you get going, you build momentum, and things become easier. If you want to change your life, start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, today. Make a call, write a plan, take the first step, no matter how small. Because once you get going, you'll realize something incredible. You were always capable. You just needed to start. Step 4, get excited. Fuel your journey with passion. Passion is the fuel that drives success. When you're excited about where you're going, nothing can stop you. But if you're not excited, if you're just going through the motions, sooner or later you'll run out of energy. You'll lose motivation. You'll give up. That's why excitement is so important. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when things get tough. I remember when I first started out in business. I had no experience, no track record, and no guarantee that I would succeed. But I had excitement. I was excited about the possibilities. I was excited about what I could become. And that excitement pushed me to keep going, to keep learning, to keep improving. You've probably seen people who are stuck in life. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, and do it all over again the next day. No passion, no excitement, just routine. And the reason is simple. They've stopped dreaming. They've stopped believing in what's possible. If you want to rise from average to fortune, you have to reignite that spark. Get excited about your future. Get excited about what's possible. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who challenge you, who inspire you. Read books that stretch your thinking. Set goals that make you jump out of bed in the morning. Because when you're excited about where you're going, success becomes inevitable. Step 5, get away, create balance, and reflect. Life isn't just about working hard, making money, and chasing success. It's about living. It's about finding balance. Too many people get caught up in the grind, always pushing forward, always working, always chasing, but never stopping to reflect, never stepping back to ask, is this the life I want? Am I becoming the person I want to be? Some years ago, I found myself working endlessly, caught up in the race to achieve more. And one day, a friend of mine gave me a simple piece of advice. Get away. Take time to breathe. Take time to reflect. That advice changed everything. Stepping away from the daily routine gives you clarity. When you're in the middle of everything, it's easy to get lost. But when you step back, you can see the bigger picture. You can see what's working and what's not. You can see if you're climbing the right ladder or if you're just running in circles. Some of the greatest insights come when you pause. That's why some of the most successful people in the world take time off, not just for rest, but for reflection. They don't just work hard, they think hard. They don't just do, they evaluate, adjust, and refine their path. So don't be afraid to get away, take a walk, go on a trip, spend time with people who inspire you. Sit in silence and ask yourself, where am I going? What truly matters? Because sometimes the best way to move forward is to step back. You've now heard the 5 steps, 5 simple but powerful steps that can take you from average to fortune. The question is, what will you do with them? Because knowing is not enough. Thinking about it is not enough. The only thing that will make a difference in your life is action. Some will walk away and say, that was interesting. Others will say, I'll start tomorrow. But a few, just a few will say, this is it. Today is the day I take my life to the next level. The truth is, success isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's not a matter of luck or talent. It's about decisions. It's about the choice to get serious, to get smart, to get going, to get excited, and to get away when needed. It's about doing what most people won't, so you can live the life most people can't. I challenge you to take one step today, just one. Maybe it's picking up that book you've been meaning to read. Maybe it's writing down your goals. Maybe it's making that phone call, taking that class, or finally acting on that idea you've been sitting on. Whatever it is, start now. Because the next 5 years will come either way. The question is, will you arrive where you want to be, or will you be in the same place, wishing you had started today? The choice is yours.